There is no safe haven. We will give you no sanctuary. In the month of July, the FBI executed almost 30 foreign transfers of custody in over 15 separate countries for drug traffickers, terrorists, murderers, and rapists. So what I'm here to tell you today, for all these individuals that are on the run right now, you will not be on the run for long. We will hunt you down in every corner of the planet, and we will return you here to face American justice. The numbers that we, the FBI and our partners, are returning to America to face justice from overseas is a record-breaking number. It is a direct result of President Trump's relationships with foreign governments that allow us to work in spaces we were never permitted to work before. And that is why we are delivering these historic results, returning these individuals to America for justice. And most importantly, once they are in our justice system, we have seized these funds and we are going to get them back to the senior citizens that were fleeced of their life savings and their retirements. That is the mission of law enforcement. That is the collective mission of the interagency partnerships you see here today. I'm thankful to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with these agencies, our prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and this White House, laser focused and primary importance on protecting our most vulnerable, our kids, and our elderly. And you're seeing that done here today. And this FBI, along with our interagency partners, will not rest. If anyone in the world has information on these perpetrators, 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Because we see the corruption as one. Cartel activity, corruption is cartel activity. They are enablers. And we will pursue it to the ends to protect our citizens in our country.
If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. You are welcome to a very special Nigerian political appraiser. We are looking at Nigerian political landscape sequel to 2027 presidential election, with particular reference to what is happening in the United States of America, talking about the lobbying firm Atiku hired for $1.2 million US, talking about Von Montayog that has currently succeeded in an American court, where the court have asked the American attorney that on the 24th of this month, tentatively, that they should release the documents involving Tinubu's case in the United States of America. Mr. Chinedu, I'll be asking you, what does this portend for Nigerian politics and Nigerian election that is coming up in 2027? And ultimately, what does it portend for the appearance of Nigerian government delegation to UN General Assembly that is coming up September this next month?
Breakup of Nigeria, quote unquote, that's the first thing you must understand on this matter. 2027 election might not be realistic for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but away from that, politically, let me just make it very clear that the reason why this thing is coming up is based on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's antecedents and political play within Africa and in the United States of America under Joe Biden, when him and Buhari ganged up, contributed millions of dollars to make sure that Trump does not come back. But that, of course, he engaged too many lobbying firms. But unfortunately for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I do not know how he is going to escape the Venezuela treatment that is coming to Aso Rock if eventually those documents are released. Currently now, Von Matag York has presented 60 pages out of 2,500 pages of indictment and report since 1993 to date, powered by Aaron Grisman. You have watched the video. You've looked at what the FBI, Kash Patel, is saying. The current FBI director is talking about today. The fear is what triggered the federal government to start sending delegates to the United States of America. Recently, it is not about insecurity that you saw what played out in US recently, where Ribadu led thousands and hundreds of delegates. They did not go there because of security. They went there to solicit that Trump allow Bola Ahmed Tinubu to enter America. That Trump should not go ahead and endorse the public exposure by Honey Howell, that's correct. Belly Howell, yes, that's the American prosecutor judge who ordered the FBI and DEA to make sure that those documents are being presented. But I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not see this coming, or possibly he underrated um, uh, uh, elements of opposition who have questioned one, his certification, his primary school, his identity, everything about him is secrecy. No, they said no, we cannot continue like this. Let us even hold this one that we know that Nigerian judiciary, army, and police cannot be able to sabotage. Now they went to United States of America.
Okay, now some people are saying that Atiku is desperate, but let me take you to the angle where, of course, Jerry Bekwe the other time said Atiku was childish. Remember that as we speak, Atiku is already challenging even Tinubu in Nigeria court over his failure to provide his primary school certificate. But in this time around, this is a different ballgame. Do you believe that Atiku was childish when he dragged Tinubu to court?
Yes, Atiku was not childish. Why Atiku would not want to, drag him in Nigerian court is because the Nigerian judiciary has been commercialized. That's the way, to an extent that most of them don't know how to pass judgment anymore. You can see what they did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you can see how they were able to influence Alexander Stubb in Finland. So Atiku knew that if he begin to question the narcotic drug trafficking connected, yes, connected, though they say it's a civil matter, it has not been indicted by any court, and that forfeiture of $460,000. Okay, Bola Ahmed Tinubu may not be in the ballot. I am telling you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is a serious matter, because now it is time for Donald Trump to open book for them. And let me also tell you why Atiku decided not to challenge. It's not Atiku at work. It is Americans that want to unveil Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that want to unveil the connection between Muslim tickets, that want to unveil how this man threatened the Nigerian state, saying he is a stubborn politician, that he has the capacity. Everything is fair in politics. And you are talking to a global world. And people are saying, how come did we arrive at that place at this point? It still went ahead when they were telling you that Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. Go and look at Rally Moore. Then they now looked at it and said, no, why you are doing this one in Nigeria, trying to uncover the identity of this man. At least there is this one. Let us look at the reason why he actually forfeited $460,000 in Chicago. The same Chicago University of Chicago. One man in the same Chicago. Everything about him is Chicago. All the crime, Chicago. They want to know, is this man just Chicago for nothing? Or there's something wrong with, that the world does not know?
Okay, now let me even take it to this angle, because at some point, we understand that it was widely reported that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar spent $1.2 million to hire this lobbying firm, talking about from Montayog. And at the time, some people were arguing that the money is a waste. But with what is happening with of course, the push of the same lobbying firm. Not just this, we are seeing this same lobbying firm talking about this from Montayog approaching US Congress to report this very matter. Does it imply that money was not a waste?
Well, I can tell you that Bola Ahmed, I don't think at the end will justify the means. The end will justify the means, whether it's going to be a waste. But the target is that, Nigerians want to know who this man is. We don't know him. And they can see the body he brought to Nigerian democracy. And it has become an embarrassment to the global world. When even Ralimo told you, do something about this Muslim something, you still went ahead. They said, no, we are going to use our elements and proxies in Nigeria to unveil him. Remember, this is a master that has too much money. $9 million was used to lobby United States of American government to stop not to recognize Biafra as a sovereign nation.
That was from Nigerian government. Not Tinubu as a person.
That's what I'm coming. It is under his watch. It is under his watch. We heard it. So there's every possibility. Okay, people are asking now, what did you send Ribadu to go and do after Ribadu visited United States of America? Ronnie Moore came out and said, we are not going to remove Nigeria from country of particular concern, because yesterday thousands of Christians were being murdered in Plateau State. So who understood you to that the Nigerian government is a terrorist organization according to Canadian court? So I want you to understand at this point in time that it is time to unveil this man completely from the beginning to the end. And if indicted, bye-bye to 2027 ambition.
I was to ask back here in Nigeria, apart from what is happening in the United States of America, what do you specifically think this move to have his record released in America will do in Nigerian political landscape, secret to Tinubu's ambition?
We should be able to bring legitimacy to the presidency, bring integrity to the presidency, bring transparency to the presidency. But Ahmed Tinubu is serving the public, and unfortunately, we do not know him 100%. We don't know where he comes from. Everything about him is secret. Even the issue of his sophistication is secret. Primary schools, father, paternity, everything about him is, so it's not about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think it borders on trying to sanitize the system to the extent that, we'll be able to remove hitches that has produced incompetent leadership in Nigeria. Imagine recently, you can see what is it called? Luxury. The man they call Casey Luxury. That worth over 27 million US dollars worth of narcotics that was apprehended in. Imagine this kind of. The America is not going to look at he forfeited it and ran away, even though he was not directly indicted. They are going to look at the consequences. Many lives, thousands of lives. That's what the FBI director is saying. That these 4 narcotics has cost in America, and you must pay. You must pay, if not Venezuela treatment.
Now let me bring it back home here in Nigeria, because some people have argued that Atiku is becoming too desperate. That on one hand, he's fighting Tinubu in the United States of America. That back home in Nigeria, we are seeing G100 moving to have a unified opposition. And some people have speculated that the G100 is nothing different from the ADC where Atiku was his head. That currently that G100 is clandestinely working to extract commitment from Obi that you accept whatever come out of that G100 consultation and negotiation. That Atiku is their main target to present as the candidate for the united opposition. What is your take?
Atiku should disqualify himself because he doesn't even have primary school certificate. That is one. 2, anything outside that, I think they are warming up for breakup of Nigeria. That's what they are warming up. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, they are heading towards that direction. There's no 2 ways about it. If Atiku many years ago, I campaigned for Northern Turn, Southern Turn. At the end of the day, he come out again and said there was nothing like that. So he questioned the ambition of the Fulani political class, who are very, very ambitious. It shows they are not ambitious. They don't want Nigeria to work. They don't want equity. They don't want fair play. All they want is to consolidate on Islamic agenda in Nigeria, because that is what Atiku represents. If you cannot to put and anything G100 at this point in time that want anything outside Atiku without P2B, okay, that G100 should go to hell and burn to ashes. Nigeria does not need it. Okay, let me tell you what happened in Osun State is going to happen nationally. Nigerians will resist them because these are the people that have not got G now, just like we were seeing Matthew Kuka and the rest of them signing peace accord. Of what effect? They signed peace accord in Osun State. What happened? People died. They did not take any position. So these are rituals and formalities that have not added value to the Nigerian leadership. So anything outside the OB and the entire Nigeria, 36 states of this country, youths are clamoring organically for P2B. they know the reason why they are looking for P2B, because among all the presidential candidates, P2B is outstanding. There's no two ways about it, and nobody can. One man, the other man is facing drug case. We don't need him. Atiku Abubakar, it is not his turn. Abi, as simple as that.
Now, maybe I should allow you to respond to this. Of course, this came from Dr. Bitrus Pogo, the chairman of Middle Belt Forum, who have said that the Middle Belt is not North, it can never be North, and that the Middle Belt is now currently renouncing Northern hegemony and the Fulani Caliphate, talking about Sokoto Caliphate, that they are ready and prepared to partner with the South, talking about forming an alliance with the South ahead of every election instead of their usual way of following the North. According to him, that all the alliance with the North have always not benefited them, that when it comes to sharing things, the North do not remember them, but when they needed them to make out the number, they will remember them. But let me get a reaction.
The target has always been the Biafra, the Biafran cause. That's the target. But the North are being careful now because there's a rising suspicion against the Fulani political class. And of course, the Fulani, not even a tribe, they are invaders in Nigeria. That's the truth. No, the Middle Belt, according to, you can listen to Mutawang, the governor of Plateau State recently, apologizing. Whether the apology is genuine or not, but there was an attempt in that direction, which the entire Biafran nation is watching. Well, the Middle Belt is welcome. Like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will always say, as any Christian in the North, in the Middle Belt, that want a refuge when Biafra comes, is allowed to stay in Biafra land. That is the message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But that notwithstanding, all the narrative from Middle Belt to the so-called Niger Delta, South, and they are seeing it very clearly that Igbo man was not the problem. Very clearly. The Igbo man is not about the problem of Nigeria. Now, the Middle Belt have realized they have done, the West have done their own. How many times? About twice. The North-West and whatever they call themselves have enjoyed enormous, but still, the drive to make sure that Nigeria collapse under Islam is what the Middle Belt Forum leader is talking again. That this time around, we have learned our lesson. This time around, we have learned our lesson that we are going to consider an Middle Belt Igbo alliance in Obi, and that is the statement the man is making. There's no two ways about it. That's the leader there making that statement. You can listen to, they are not part of the North. That what? Not always use them to augment. Listen to Pastor Neche, who made it very clearly that if they carry out consensus now, transparently, you can see that they don't even have the numbers.
Now, the last area you are going to respond to the plethora of endorsement coming the way of the president, talking about Senator Bola Tinubu from the northern part of the country. But before you do that, let us look at the current situation in the north, where we are now currently seeing Hausa advocates for the first time in the history of Nigerian political landscape coming out clearly to emphasize that if you are not representing Hausa interests, they are not voting for you. And you are going to address this having in mind that Hausa have the larger population in the north. What do you think this means for politics of the north?
Of course, I think it has to do with orientation. Most of their brains have been radicalized based on Sharia and based on that religion, and unfortunately for them, it has not been able to move them forward, So, but that's why I'm saying that it has come to that point that they disguise as if they wanted an Igbo Northern alliance. But at the end of the day, you see them changing narration. Not because Igbo man is bad, but because of what the religion teaches, because of their belief in Sharia, because of their understanding that they do not know how to separate religion from politics, and which most time they see it as their strength, as their political strength. Where the sheikh and the imams and all of them will sit down and command the entire place to go one particular direction. And if you disobey, a certain law will be used against you. And which is Sharia.
You are talking about ally capture.
No. That is ally capture. That's what I'm telling you now. So, to break it down at that point, then that Obina came, and we are hearing that. But they voted Buhari Osibanjo, no complaint. They brought Bola Ahmed Tinubu because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is being seen as part of the agenda. Look at the Sheikh coming out to praise Muslim ticket and threatening no arrest. Joy said he called Christians if there's no arrest.
Okay, now we will ask this last question because we understand that currently, of course, Obi have already formed a line with Kwankwaso. And in the last election of 2023, Kwankwaso was a candidate in that election. Obi was a candidate. This coming together of Obi and Kwankwaso, and equally coming together of Kwankwaso movement and Obida movement with what we currently have as OK movement. Do you think it have anything to do in changing the calculation of 2027 presidential election?
Of course, we still need to understand very clearly that Obi support is organic, and the structure Obi is using is human structure. Is the people who are the electors themselves. Obi has no state governor, Obi has no senator, Obi has no House of Rep member, whatever you call it. But the people, Obi has the people. The people is the structure. But one important thing about Obi is that Obi is movement, and a movement is emotion. And if you calculate it to the political science, you come to the understanding that Obi can move at any time. That's what they call obedient movement. Obi is not attacked. He can move at any time. And when he is going, he is a magnet. He goes with his, followers. As simple as that. So what the North need to do now, is to reciprocate the kind gesture or that were being found in Obi by Nigerians by supporting Kwankwaso Obi alliance, forgetting about religion or whatever. But they don't care. The North does not care as much as the South in terms of what is on ground. Do you have the capacity, the transparency to lead, to go? No, their own judgment is based on religion, and that's why you have all manner of Islamic clerics and scholars everywhere, teleguiding them. Apart from few of them who are elected. But the one is that the Hausa have more numbers than the Fulani. If the Hausas are still crying or believing, now they have to reawaken their consciousness that the only thing they need to do now is to support, irrespective. Yes, they should forget about Atiku. Atiku should be addicted from 2027 election, completely addicted, and I can tell you that. Then we have a clear-cut plan of what Nigerians want to choose come 2027. And if the Hausa population support Kwankwaso, and of course, it is going to be an overwhelming victory where Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his rigging machineries will not be able to tamper it. There will be no space for them.
Do you think Wike's position is not a threat? Say that if he have gone to Osun, that the president would have won?
Bola Ahmed Tinubu pretends a lot, and Nigerians know he pretends a lot. He has no capacity. He has no charisma. He's not crafted in words and grammar. He does not know how to play diplomacy in politics and campaign. So that shows his level of exposure and integrity and personality, and of course, to an extent, his level of education. But that notwithstanding, by now, Wike should have been arrested for threatening Nigerians in a democratic setting by saying that without him, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not win 2027 election. That's what it means. But we are yet to come to that point where everything will be properly defined. That if another thing does not happen, we are expecting that it will happen before 2027. But if it doesn't happen, Obi is the way out for Nigeria for now.
I must say a very big thank you for your time. This is a good place to let it go. We hope to have you next time because this is, of course, a developing story. We hope to have you next time on this platform. But for now, thank you for your time.